Hot on the heels of the iX crossover comes this sassy i4 M50. Now this just happens to be the very first all-electric car from the M division. The i4 is offered in two distinctly different flavours. The eDrive 40 uses a single rear-mounted electric motor that makes 335 horsepower. For many prospective punters, this will be more than enough car. However, for those who want the real deal, they only need look to the M50. It adds a second electric motor that drives the front wheels, which gives it an electric xDrive all-wheel drive extension. The front motor develops 255 horsepower, the rear motor adds another 308. With both motors online, the M50 has 469 horsepower and 538 pound-feet of torque. The twist is found in the Sport Boost function. When active, it ups the output to 536 horsepower and 586 pound-feet of torque, and it can produce these elevated numbers for just over 10 seconds. While the extra burst of speed is smile-inducing, the M-specific soundtrack that accompanies the power surge, well, it's just a little too futuristic for its own good. So how fast is this i4 M50, you ask? Well, it'll run the riders to 100k in 3.9 seconds. But that only tells part of the story. The other half is all that delicious torque. When you're running the highway, or the Autobahn as it is here, at about 140, nail the accelerator and you hit about 200 kilometers an hour in what feels like the blink of an eye. Both versions of the i4 use the same 83.9 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery. It delivers a driving range of 475 kilometers in the eDrive 40. The M50's second electric motor and overt performance does drop the range to around 385 kilometers, but that's still enough to banish range anxiety. One of the keys to the driving range is the regen braking. In drive, the system looks after itself and uses navigation data and key sensors to determine the level and extent of regen. However, the better choice is found when the shifter is moved into the B position. This gives the M50 a one-pedal drive. Lifting the accelerator slightly sees the M50 slow gently and in a predictable manner, which is perfect for the highway or when in the city. However, the one-pedal setup really comes into its own on a hard and fast run where the driver is on and off the accelerator quickly. The key is it allows the M50 to be set up for a corner by simply feathering the accelerator. Now, while it takes about 8 hours to fully recharge the battery using a level 2 charger, if you're out on the road, you can stick about 140 kilometers worth of range in about 10 minutes if you find the right fast charger. The M50 uses steel springs up front and load-leveling air springs at the back with adaptive dampers at both ends. Normally the mass at play, almost 2,300 kilograms in this case, makes the drive feel lethargic and numb. That is not the case here. The M50 pushes deep into a corner, it pivots sweetly at the apex, and then hauls out of it with a rare tenacity. It hunkers down so well, I actually forgot I was driving an electric vehicle. This tells you how seamlessly it all works. As for the rest of it, the M50 is pretty much all next-gen 4 Series Grand Coupe. Nice materials, body-hugging front seats, lots of rear space, and plenty of cargo volume that's unaffected by the battery. The key difference is the M50 uses the same curved screen as the one found in the larger iX crossover. The 12.3-inch instrumentation and 14.9-inch infotainment screens sit under a single freestanding piece of glass. The graphics are crystal clear and the infotainment side simple to master. What's different is the i4's screen occupies a little over half of the crash pad's real estate, so it's an instant eye-catcher. You know, this i4 M50 is a true joy to drive. It is very fast, it's got lots of driving range, and of course it'll take a corner with the best of them. I think the best way of summing this car up is quite simply to say, this is the M3 of the electric brigade.
you consider Motoring TV's been on the air for 30 plus years, there's no doubt you've missed a few episodes. Well, there's a couple of ways you can catch up and make sure you don't miss anything. First, you can go to YouTube and look up just segments or complete shows. Also, if you want to know what we're doing, like today on a daily basis, just go to our Facebook page. And also, you can go to motoringtvshop.com, get some cool swag. Oh, there's also that Instagram thing.